It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the football team and the Bears on Thursday night.
First opened way back in 1924, but renovated in 2002. There's a look inside venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. This was the scene a moment ago as the Bears emerged from their tunnel. Ready for football are they, and ready for football are we, as the Bears get set to match up with the Washington football team. Brandon Gaudin alongside my broadcast partner Charles Davis. And CD, our quarterbacks taking center stage here for each of their respective offenses. Carson Wentz and Justin Fields.
We do indeed, and something I'm going to be watching for. Who can get off to a fast start? If you can go out, get points on the first drive, preferably a touchdown, you can really set the tone for the game. And I think that both of these quarterbacks are more than capable of doing just that.
Sly, the kicker, stands ready, and off we go from Soldier Field. Taken at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
Coming out of Ohio State, one of the top prospects in the NFL draft, and it was so big that they moved up in the draft to get him, to make sure that they had him. And, boys, he got the full package. Loves the game, big-time arm, 4.4 speed, so good that another quarterback prospect said to him, "What's it feel like to run 4.4? Everybody wants to be that fast."
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. First carry now for David Montgomery. And he'll power his way up near the 25. The game's first play produces 6 yards. Brings up 2nd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
2nd down at 4. A give. This is Montgomery. A great move by Montgomery. And this will be a Bears first down as he's got this up to the 35-yard line. For one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front and linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A shotgun snap, Fields. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. A CD, you know, so often we talk about quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. Well, we can't say that there. He had no time to do much of anything.
And it appears that this was just a letdown from the offensive line, but they do have a tough job because if you're a big tackle out there on the perimeter, sometimes you don't have the agility to keep up with the defensive end who's looking to wreak havoc in the backfield.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Montez Sweat, he's the one that drops him this go-around, and that pass rush getting strong here, back-to-back sacks. They'll make that a second sack here on their first drive out defensively, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That open, that's Byron Pringle complete. A heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th.
I think that we all figured when he caught it that short of the marker that the defense almost relaxed and said, we got this covered. And then all of a sudden, space to run after the catch. And now they're screaming, somebody get him down. Fortunately, they got to him and forced the 4th down.
Here comes the Bears punter now. Back deep, Alex Erickson. "36 yards on the punt with no return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. As we get a peek at the number 2 overall pick from the 2016 draft, standing at 6'5", Carson Wentz.
And when you look at him, you see that he's got all the tools you want in a quarterback. The big frame, the quick release, strong arm, has escapability. The issue sometimes, tries to do too much instead of just taking the throws that are available to him, and occasionally turnovers get him into trouble.
There's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Throwing now is Wentz. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd.
Didn't have the greatest field position to start, did they? And now after this sack, it's way, way worse.
And right off the bat, first play of the game. 2nd and 20. The first carry for the Memphis man, Antonio Gibson. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Bears. And he will this one to the 30-yard line. Well, he's going to have to shake out the cobwebs first time he touches the football, and he drops it on the ground.
So many times we talk about quarterbacks and taking care of them early to get them in the flow with safe throws, right? But with a runner, there is no such thing as a safe run, right? Right out of the gate, you're going to be in some traffic. Got to take care of the ball, and he didn't do that.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Following the fumble recovery, Fields. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. To throw is Fields. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Jonathan Allen, the former first-round pick, getting in there to bring him down. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. 3rd and long. It's Fields. That's complete to his running back, Herbert. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
On is Santos for the Bears field goal. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. Santos' kick is up and through, and it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no win. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out and to force the field goal.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. Now it's Patterson. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Antonio Gibson and the Washington offense ready to go here once more. He's got to clear his mind a little bit right now. 1 carry, and that carry was a lost fumble.
Clear his mind, clear his hands, and just let this one go. Sometimes it happens. You drop the ball, got a full game ahead of him, hand it to him again, see if they can start to produce.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field to start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
From the 27, Wentz. He'll get this into the hands of Antonio Gibson.
Let's go. One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a 1st down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's a give to Gibson. A strong running. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Don't stop that motor.
After 1 on EA Sports. Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Wentz going to throw. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Here's Wentz to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Here's 2nd and 10. Shotgun now for Wentz. This is caught by his tight end, Logan Thomas. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 22-yard line.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
On first down, Wentz. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Partner, took a while for him to lock onto a receiver, and he finally found his man coming left to right across the formation. But by the time he got the ball to him, not much of a chance to turn upfield and make anything out of it.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wentz. And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Working from the gun, Wentz. Going for it all. And unable to connect, incomplete. Give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And his kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here comes Justin Fields and the rest of the Bears offense. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
Now, he'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
We've seen the pressure get to him several times in this game. There, though, we see him escape it.
And we've seen this rookie video before as well. That type of pressure, oftentimes, what do you resort to? Your legs, try and escape. What you hope is that this doesn't become habit for him, that he learns how to handle the pressure, still keep his eyes downfield, and make some throws.
Off play action, Fields. Now he'll escape to his right, and he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
From the 45 on second down, Fields. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Montez Sweat able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at third down and long. Throwing on third down, Fields. Looking downfield for Jones. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Another drive coming up for this Washington offense. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Here's Gibson to start the drive. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Shotgun handoff to Gibson. And he'll be taken down right around the 27. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. Coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Wentz. And his throw here's incomplete. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing is Wentz. They'll set up the screen for Gibson. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle him for just a short gain.
So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. Wentz to throw again. He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wentz. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches. Wentz. This to McLaurin out on the left side. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Now Wentz. And yet again, it's McLaurin. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. Back-to-back gains of 17, and they are really on the march now. It's a 1st down.
I can't help but chuckle a little bit because at this point, it can't be a surprise to anyone in the building who's going to get the ball. They just keep feeding him over and over, and he just keeps on delivering.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Again, they'll throw with Wentz. Eluding the pressure right. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Carson Wentz. A 10-yard touchdown run. And Washington has taken the lead.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this 2nd quarter. The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. David Montgomery ready to take the field for the Bears' next possession. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they?
52 is the mic right here.
On first down, Fields. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
But no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Fields. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Fields on third down. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And we'll see how much they want to push things, leading already here 10-3. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. Nifty running there, but it'll come on what should be the final play of half number 1. So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting group from Washington who are out on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from that first half for Washington. And even though they've got a halftime lead, they're likely devising ways as we speak to try and get a little more production from their passing game. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. So Washington in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football as the second half gets underway. This taken in at the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Washington offense ready to go to begin the third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games, and And we're seeing a pretty good one right now, hotly contested in the third quarter. Slings this deep from McLaurin, and that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Second and 10. Now Wentz. And he will find his man Samuel. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big play that time through the air. 34 yards.
They came out with an aggressive mindset to start the third quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take more of these type of deep shots as this game moves along. They connected there. They expect to connect on more before this one's over.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up first and 10. Gibson here running out of the gun. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run good for 2. Here's second and 8. To throw, it's Wentz. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 28.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Throwing on first is Wentz. That's out to the flat for Gibson. An agile move, but not a huge gain. Dropped at the 25. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
To throw again on second down. Wentz. He's got it to Gibson. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson, 25 yards for the touchdown. And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Extra point by Sly is up and good. And the lead is now 17-3.
Bears 3.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Here comes Justin Fields and the rest of the Bears offense.
And boy, Charles, they have to find a way to just get him some time to breathe back there. He's been pressured throughout this game.
And I'll bet in his mind he's thinking the focus shouldn't be on how many times I've gone down. It's where is it happening? Where are the breakdowns up front? They'll never say it publicly because good leaders don't do that. But they've got to figure out what's happening in the offensive line to keep people away from him so he actually has a chance to throw the football, because so far that has not been the case.
5 full sacks against him. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors. When the hitch route is run really well, that jab step off the line of scrimmage by the receiver, which is designed to back up the defender and give him a little bit of space, all you want there, get that space, catch the football, and then make a move and pick up extra yardage, and that's exactly what he got done there.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Handoff comes to Montgomery. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Cameron Curl up to make the tackle.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
2nd and 6. Out of the gun, Fields. Got an open man, it's Pringle. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Fields. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the first. And the screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up the 4th down.
Caught that one from me there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Come on, let's go.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Flush to his right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
On 2nd down, a run with Gibson. And a good stiff arm and some space to run. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And Washington going to add on to their lead. The CD, I mean, there are touchdown runs, and then there are touchdown runs. And that one certainly fell into the latter category. That deserves a couple exclamation points.
And the thing that stood out to me was his ability to continue through the initial contact. How many times do we see runners get slowed up and not get what they can on a run because of that first contact? But he kept the compass pointing in the right direction, kept the legs churning, and turned this into a huge play.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown. This fielded right at the goal line. And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. To Montgomery to begin the drive. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Brought down by the cornerback, William Jackson.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got to just pin their ears back and get after him now.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
52 is the mic right here.
Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Fields now to throw. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time has run out on this 3rd quarter of play. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here comes the Bears punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They've got a chance now to put this game away following that last defensive stop and punt. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. They'll start on the ground with Gibson. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. 102 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game. Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
And a pretty good run there as he gets 7 down to the 33.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. On the counter, Gibson.
And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, But they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They'll run with Gibson. And Gibson looking for some kind of opening, but he has none. They rally up to stop him short of the marker. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
And Ron Rivera, he's going to keep the offense on the field. They're going for it. They'll go. It's Gibson. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps for these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
On first down, it's Gibson, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Now, that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
And for the second time tonight, his field goal unit comes out here. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And his kick is indeed good, and that will extend the lead out to 24. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
After the made field goal, here's Sly to kick this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The Chicago offense set to get started. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Chicago! We saw this plenty last year in college. He loved to take his shots downfield, and that throw, that was a thing to behold there.
And I'm telling you, nothing will light up a crowd more than a play like that. Here in the stadium, All eyes were on the receiver streaking downfield, and you know everyone was thinking, throw it, he's open. What a connection there for the touchdown.
And that throw, amazingly, well over 70 yards in the air according to Next Gen Stats. Wow. They'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And he will get into the end zone to cut the lead a little bit further. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a two-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the two-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And Washington going to come back out here to take over offensively. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point, as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. A handoff for Gibson.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll go again with Gibson. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line.
Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. On the draw, it's Gibson. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They run the counter. Gibson. And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain. Ron Rivera, the gambling type, but he comes up empty here. And the Bears will get the football back. And one last throw here for Fields. He's going to let it fly. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is, because let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.